many others whose lives were permanently changed on October 29th. My thoughts remain with those victims and their families, and it's why we have worked so hard to get to this point. I want to thank the community for their care and concern, and for all the tips and videos they've sent that have greatly helped in this investigation. It should be clear to anyone that if you engage in any type of crime, especially a violent crime with the firearm, that you will get caught, arrested, prosecuted, and be held accountable for those actions, and we will bring justice to any victims that you have impacted. The arrest today that we're announcing is the arrest of Dwayne Tillman Jr., 21-year-old, with attempted murder in the second degree and attempted aggravated battery, discharging a firearm. Witnesses identified him as one of the shooters, and we have video evidence of him shooting into the crowd. How reckless and life-changing that is, to shoot into the crowd of thousands of people. In addition, you all know that we arrested yesterday Caden Abney. He was charged with second-degree murder of Harrison Boonstapple, attempted aggravated battery, and attempted murder. His previous charges were carrying a concealed firearm and a minor in possession of a firearm while wearing a mask. I told you all last night that our work is not done, and we will hold everyone accountable. To assist in those efforts, we've teamed up with our partners to increase the reward. The FDLE has added $5,000 to the reward, ATF has added $5,000, and the FBI has added $12,000, totaling up to $27,000 for additional tips leading to additional arrest. We will not stop our work until we get justice for all the victims and their families. And let me reiterate, we will not tolerate this in Tampa. I'd like to bring up the state attorney now.
Thank you, Chief. I want to congratulate the Tampa Police Department for working relentlessly to find those responsible for the Ybor City shootings on October 29th. This has been a difficult and meticulous investigation, and with the help of anonymous tips from the community, we are closer to finding justice for these victims. When these defendants opened fire on historic 7th Avenue, they put hundreds of people's lives in danger. We must make sure anyone responsible for violence that night is held accountable. This defendant is 21 years old and will be charged as the adult that he is. He will face attempted second-degree murder charges as well as aggravated battery charges with great bodily harm, both of which carry a 20-year mandatory minimum prison sentence. The evidence shows that this defendant engaged in a gunfight in the middle of a crowded street in Ybor City while people were enjoying a night out with their friends and families on a holiday weekend. It is clear that he had absolutely no regard for human life, and he will pay for his actions. We should be able to enjoy a night out in our beautiful city without the fear of gunfire. Let me be clear. Our office takes gun violence very seriously. And if you show a reckless disregard for the safety of our community, consequences will follow. We also talked yesterday about Caden Abney, another defendant in this case. Although he is only 14 years old, our office has filed the paperwork today to charge him as an adult with the second-degree murder of Harrison Boonstapple. As a community, we have a chance to stand up against gun violence. Community members can do their part by storing your guns in your home and not in your car. And if you store your gun in your car, please lock your car door. This is how guns are getting into the hand of juveniles. Unlocked cars. As the state attorney, I will use the tools that we have to fight gun violence, and that is to prosecute. It doesn't matter how old you are in Hillsborough County. If you endanger the lives of innocent people with a firearm, You will be held accountable on my watch. Thanks again to the Tampa Police Department and all of the brave men and women of our community who have come forward with information. You are making a difference. Thank you.
This is now the third arrest. Like I said before, we are going to hold those accountable, bring them to justice. This is unacceptable, and we mean business in Tampa. Any questions?
Chief, 2 people killed, 16 others injured. Do you believe that this third suspect that was arrested today was possibly responsible for the injuries that any of those other people, those 16, faced?
Sorry, what was?
Do you believe that the suspect arrested and charged today is behind injuries that, any of those other 16 people who were out that night faced?
Again, it's a long investigation figuring that out, but what we do know is that he shot recklessly in the crowd with everybody in there, and that he's going to be held accountable for that. And that's what we do need, is this is the hard work of the detectives to get to a third arrest in this case, working day in and day out, motivated by the victims' families in this case, and the community coming forward. The fact that the community is giving us tips knows that they trust the police department and they want to see results in this case, and that's what we're doing, is we're producing results.
Was this suspect arrested today involved in the altercation that originally led up to this gunfire?
Again, part of the ongoing investigation, but what we do know is he shot into that crowd with innocent victims there.
Chief, everyone involved so far, from the victims to those arrested, seem pretty young. What do we have to look at here, I guess, with the young people in Tampa?
Obviously, violent crime is a concern for ours, but the point is that if you're going to come to Tampa and you're going to commit a violent crime, especially with a firearm, you're going to get caught and you're going to get arrested and you're going to be held accountable. And this is a perfect example of Tampa PD working with the state attorney's office to bring justice.
You talked about the juvenile curfew ordinance today at City Council. Can you share more of your position on that?
Sure, the purpose of that is the safety for everyone involved in the entire city, and I look forward to further discussions on that exact topic.
Did you recover a gun from the suspect?
At this point, it's part of the ongoing investigation.
And with anything that has been connected to, as far as the firearms, I know the state attorney was mentioning that people need to lock their doors. Are these stolen guns that we believe are involved here?
Part of the ongoing investigation, but what I can tell you, and I said it in council this morning, is the amount of guns that are taken from cars is completely unacceptable. We've had over 200 guns taken from auto burglaries this year alone. And we have to have responsible gun ownership. There's too many guns getting in the hands of people that should not have them.
Can we have an update on how many more suspects and shooters you're looking for? And was this guy today on some of that surveillance footage you released?
So the detectives are interviewing him now, and it's all based on the statements, but we believe there's at least one more shooter out there, and that's why we've increased the tips, and we want the public to come forward. We have now $27,000 worth of reward money to continue bringing in those tips, and the hard work of our detectives and our state attorney's office is just unbelievable in this case.
Chief, what's the demeanor of those who've been arrested? Are they remorseful at all? I know, like we mentioned, they're very young. Are they remorseful? Are they understanding the gravity of these charges?
It's part of the ongoing investigation. Detectives and state attorney's office are interviewing them now.
And as far as the reward, is it $27,000 total right now, or is it $27,000 more from what was mentioned before?
Total. It was $5,000 before. It's $27,000 now.